Welcome to another startup and complete car documentation. Now what we're looking at today is the newly refreshed 2023 Kia Soul LX.
Kia calls this exterior color Inferno Red.
On the key, you've got the buttons for lock, unlock, and panic. The front door panels do have storage areas with bottle holders. And as you'd expect, you get power windows, locks, and mirrors as standard.
Standard on the LX trim is cloth seating, and this one comes in the black interior color scheme.
On the LX, both front seats are manually adjusted. And this one has been optioned out with these really cool aluminum sport pedals. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. New for 23, you've got that fully digital instrument cluster. Now onto the exterior. Alright, so a bit different format I'm trying out for the exterior walkaround part, since this is a brand new car hot on the market right now. So for 23, the Soul got a mid-cycle refresh. Of course, it's still in its third generation, which came out for 2020, but we got this new front end. The old one used to have two-tier, like upper and lower headlight housings. Now we got just the one on either side, but it's still integrated with a light bar. And you got that new grille. The Soul came out for 2010. And, well, the ad campaign pretty much has forever cemented this car as the hamster car. When it came out, you had the Nissan Cube, the Scion XB, a couple others which were box-shaped cars. But since then, the Soul is the only one that's really stuck. And it has become incredibly popular. Here's the refreshed back end. The taillights have been redone. They're more like a black and red as opposed to more full-on red like the pre-facelifts. Cool attention to detail though. The Soul logo is also a new font.
Another big change for 2023 is the discontinuation of the top-of-the-line turbo engine. Now, the Soul engine across the range is a naturally aspirated 2-liter inline-four cylinder with 147 horsepower.
Now this is technically part of the crossover class, although I've always thought of it more as a tall hatchback. Because it never actually has offered all-wheel drive. Coming back around to that new front end. As I mentioned before, you have a fully digital gauge cluster. It's all one big LCD screen now. Pretty cool stuff now that you can get a fully digital gauge cluster on a base model Kia, when a few years ago this was luxury car stuff. And then the center of it you can go through via the controls on the steering wheel. The kind of retro throwback font as well kind of reminds me of an 80s alarm clock, but I think it ties in pretty well to the whole instrument cluster. Looks nice. It has a 4-spoke design multifunctional steering wheel. There are sport grips at 10 and 2. Now as for controls, on this side you have your audio controls with the star button. That's basically a favorites button. You can configure it to a couple other things with the infotainment system, the radio, that kind of thing. Then on this side you have your information display and cruise controls. And you also got the toggle button for your lane following assist, in addition to the lane keep assist. The steering wheel is tilt and telescopic. Your fuse panel, your panel dim, traction control toggle, and your auto start-stop toggle. Air vent. Got your exterior lighting stock. And on this side is your wiper stock. Going down the center of the interior, you got a speaker up top, air vents, got the touchscreen interface for your infotainment system. Pretty big screen, even on the base trim. I gotta say, for a base model, this is actually quite well equipped. And then you've got some physical controls, some shortcut buttons, and then, seat track, volume power, tuning knobs. Got your hazard switch. Sorry for the dirty lens, I should have cleaned it probably. Your passenger airbag indicator and your single zone climate controls on this one. Got some storage in front of the shifter with 2 power outlets and a USB port. Of course, you get a backup camera with guidance lines, putting it in reverse. Next to the gear shifter, you have your drive mode selector. Your modes are normal and sport. As you saw there, it kind of changes the theme from, think like a lavender to a red when you go into sport mode. You have 2 cup holders, parking brake is hand operated, and center console. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors. On the overhead console, you have a sunglass holder and your overhead lighting. And there are grab handles for all 4 corners. And finally, here is this infotainment system that you get on the LX trim. So this is what it looks like on the home screen. We can go to all menus. You have phone, you can pair a phone, of course, phone projection, voice memo. So new Hyundais and Kias have been having this where it's like a voice recorder, and then it'll play back through the speakers if you need to know about something. So no Sirius on this one, but you have AM, FM, Bluetooth capabilities. You can audio streaming, of course, and then Android Auto and Apple CarPlay capabilities. Got the radio screen right here. even have an onboard owner's manual. It gives you a QR code to scan. Quiet mode's a new thing, so it'll only play audio through the front speakers. So if there's anyone sleeping in the back, you don't want to disturb them. Then all sorts of settings. Then back to that home screen. Anyhow, let's go ahead and roll down the driver's window and then take a look at the engine bay. The driver's window is automatic down. Standard on the LX trim are these 16-inch steel rims with hubcaps. And overall, I think this is quite a stylish car with the refresh, especially. And it really pops in this Inferno red as well.
Powering all Souls for 2023 is a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 engine. It's an all-aluminum dual overhead cam 16-valve power plant, and it puts out 147 horsepower at 6,200 RPM, along with 132 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM. That power is sent exclusively to the front wheels via an Intelligent Variable Automatic Transmission, or IVT, with a simulated manual mode. Running on regular unleaded with a 14.3-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates for the 23 Soul are 28 mpg in the city, 33 mpg on the highway, and a combined 30 mpg overall. It has a McPherson strut front suspension and a torsion beam rear setup. Stopping the Soul are 4-wheel disc brakes, with the front ones being vented. Base curb weight for the Soul rounds up to 2,900 pounds.
As you saw earlier, the fuel cap is on the driver's side. You also have bottle holders on the back door panels. You also have 60/40 split folding rear seats to aid cargo space. Codex back here. Now, I'm about 6'1", and I put the driver's seat where I'd have it if I was driving. And space back here isn't that bad. It's actually really quite good for a car in this class. For one thing, headroom is really good. That's always been a really nice strong point of the Soul. It's always been shaped like a box, doesn't have any sort of sloping roof. So headroom for taller people especially is really good. And legroom, it's not the absolute best. My legs are kind of up against it. But I can still, you know, sit back here and it's not too intrusive. And this is only with the seat where I'd have it if I was driving, and if someone even just a little bit shorter with the seat up just a little bit further, it's actually quite comfortable back here. Single exhaust, rear wiper. This one also has a lifestyle hitch, so you can put like a bike or something.
With the rear seats up, the Soul offers 24.2 cubic feet of space. Folding down those rear seats increases space to 62.1 cubic feet.
But with the seats folded down, you get a pretty generous amount of cargo space. One of the reasons these things are so popular is that despite their size, they're practical and they're efficient. Like I said, especially for their size, it's really quite great. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of the new 2023 Kia Soul. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.